friends and vinyl community. It's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and I'm here to do the soundtrack tag redo, posted by Beth at Miss 80s Music and Movies. And super excited to do this. Had the questions for a while now. I just haven't had the time to do it, so now I do. Let's get to it. There are 20 questions. If you want to take part in the soundtrack tag, check out the link below. You will find all 20 questions there, and also a link to Beth's video kicking this off. Thank you, Beth. Here we go. How many soundtracks do I own? At present count, I have 154 soundtracks in my vinyl collection. That changes a lot. I've really gotten into the scores lately of some of the superhero type movies. Picked up Wonder Woman recently, picked up a bunch of different stuff. So those are kind of the things that I'm looking at right now. And yeah, 154. What is the first soundtrack I ever bought? The first soundtrack I bought, according to Discogs now, was this one here, Footloose. I got this in a 99-cent sale. It was still sealed. So this is a brilliant copy of the Footloose soundtrack. It's a classic soundtrack. I paid 99 cents. Can't go wrong with that. So Footloose. What is the most recent soundtrack purchase you added to your collection? I got this last weekend actually, and this is Forrest Gump, the original motion picture score. So I've never heard this. And I know the Forrest Gump soundtrack, and that soundtrack goes for big dollars. I saw this. This was put out by Music on Vinyl for their At the Movies collection that they're doing now. And so really excited to give this a listen. So Forrest Gump, Alan Silvestri, a great composer. So this should be really good. So looking forward to that. Most listened to soundtrack. This was tough for me. I didn't know what to pick for this because I listened to them a lot of different times, a lot of different soundtracks, and whatever fits the mood or what kind of genre I'm going in. So it was hard to come up with one, but I'm going to go with The Crow soundtrack. It's one of my favorites from when I was in high school, and picked this up at Record Store Day. So this is the Record Store Day version with the etching. You can't kind of make it out there. And yeah, so very happy to have this in my collection, and it is a phenomenal soundtrack if you are not familiar with it. Next question, best opening song to a soundtrack. So I got two of them here. We'll start with Karate Kid Part 2. It kicks off with Glory of Love, the theme from Karate Kid Part 2 by Peter Cetera. And it's just a phenomenal song. It was a big hit for them, and I think it's a great opening track to this soundtrack. And of course, the other one is the iconic Star Wars. I love the song's theme from Star Wars, and every time you hear it, it just brings back so many memories, and love the movies, so I'm going with that. Next question is favorite soundtrack composer, and John Williams, and favorite album by him, Star Wars. It's no brainer for me here, so going with Star Wars once again. Next question, a movie that has a lackluster soundtrack. Well, it's a lackluster movie as well, but this is just hideous. Sharknado 3, oh hell no. If you look at the titles on this, a lot of them have to do with sharks. I think pretty much every song on here has to do with sharks. They're all just absolutely horrible. And this was one I bought just for the fact that it's Sharknado, and I thought I had to have it. It's awful, awful. All right, this one might stir some feathers here, but a soundtrack that was way better than the movie. Top Gun. I can't stand Top Gun, the movie. I don't like it. I think it's bad. I think it's stupid, cheesy, corny, dumb. But I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. Danger Zone. How can you not love Danger Zone? Heaven in Your Eyes, Cheap Trick, Berlin, Take My Breath Away. I mean, this is an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. Now, I know it's sacrilege to hate Top Gun, but I'm one of those who just can't stand the movie Top Gun. But I love the soundtrack. Next question. Favorite artwork, jacket, or colored vinyl? So I'm doing a twofer here, and it's an interesting one. I really love this. This is the score by Graham Revell for the Crow soundtrack. And this is the reissue of said soundtrack for the Crow score. And it's fantastic. You can see it's embossed, it's beautiful. You can hear my dog barking in the background, but just both of these covers are absolutely fantastic. This one is short. This is a longer version. It has a couple extra songs on it, but they're both absolutely fantastic. If you love the Crow, the soundtrack is just, the score is just so good. All right, a soundtrack that needs to be reissued or pressed for the first time. The first one I have is Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It's a fantastic soundtrack, and it's hard to get on vinyl because it's only been pressed, I think, one time, and it needs a repressing bad. The other one is this one. This is the soundtrack to Encino Man. This is awesome. It has the song You're Invited But Your Friends Can't Come, which was Vince Neil's first song post Motley Crue. And the version on here by far kicks the crap out of the version that he put out on his solo album debut. This was the first version done with Jack Blades and Tommy Shaw, and then Steven Stevens came in and kind of made it his own for the album release. So I would love to see Encino Man released on vinyl. I don't know if it ever has had a vinyl pressing, and if it has, it's a very rare one to find. Next question, a bargain bin soundtrack. I have a lot of them, so I just picked one. Saturday Night Fever. This is in really good shape compared to the one I used to have, and I got it for a whopping 89 cents. I don't think you can beat that. So, Saturday Night Fever bargain bin soundtrack. A soundtrack that includes your favorite band or artist. I got two of those as well. No shockers here. AC/DC Who Made Who, and AC/DC Iron Man 2. All AC/DC. All of these are soundtracks, Maximum Overdrive, and obviously Iron Man 2 soundtrack. All right, next question. A soundtrack where the actor from the movie also performs a track. The first one is the obvious one, Dirty Dancing, where Patrick Swayze performs She's Like the Wind on this album. So this is the obvious one. The other one, another one that's quite obvious when you see it, but here you go. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, where Ms. Dolly Parton obviously performs on this soundtrack. So those are my two for where an actor performs on the album. A soundtrack where the band artist actually performed in the movie. How about the great soundtrack, Wayne's World? Alice Cooper not only acts in the movie, but also has a performance of Feed My Frankenstein in the movie. And of course, Tia Carrere, one of the actresses, performs the Ballroom Blitz in the movie as well. So, Wayne's World for that one. All right, the last movie you watched and also have a soundtrack for. My kids absolutely love this movie, and I hear the soundtrack constantly, so I picked it up for them. Encanto, Disney's Encanto. They are obsessed with We Don't Talk About Bruno and some of the other tunes on here, so this would be it. Next question. Record store soundtrack score. Again, I'm going with The Crow. This is a big get for me. It's got the white, the black vinyl. There is a new reissue of this that has the same exact, it's basically the same exact thing, except it doesn't have the Record Store Day hype sticker, basically. So, The Crow, Record Store Day, fine. Next question. A soundtrack from the year you were born. This is new to my collection as well. Just came in the mail the other day. The Empire Strikes Back motion picture soundtrack. I have the Star Wars one, as you saw. I have the Empire Strikes Back. I still need to get Return of the Jedi. Looking for that one. And then the middle trilogy, or the 90s trilogy, 90s 2000s trilogy. I need to get soundtracks for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Otherwise, I have all of the Star Wars movie soundtracks. Next question. A soundtrack, Blind Buy. I got two of these as well. The first one is the movie Homeboy soundtrack, and I bought it because Eric Clapton is on this one. Never heard of this movie, never seen it with Mickey Rourke, but Eric Clapton is on it, so I picked that up. The other one is Local Hero, music by Mark Knopfler. Picked that up basically on that alone. So those are my 2 blind buys. This one is absolutely fantastic. This one's okay. The Clapton stuff on here is pretty good. The rest of it is decent. Wouldn't go out of my way. All right, soundtrack that you own multiple formats of. All right, first up, we're gonna go with the Batman soundtrack. So this was hard to find on vinyl. I finally picked it up. I also had it on cassette and compact disc. So Batman. And the other one I have that's on multiple formats is The Wedding Singer. This just got reissued again. I missed the first one, but I got the second one. And I've got that on compact disc. I also have volume 2 on vinyl and volume 2 on compact disc as well. So multiple formats. And the last question is a soundtrack that always fits your mood. So this was a tough one. Man, I had so many soundtracks, but always fits my mood. I ended up going with Echo in the Canyon. It is absolutely fantastic music. Jacob Dylan and multiple artists, but mostly Jacob Dylan, put this together. It's a really fun film to watch, a documentary to watch as well. Very good. Tom Petty's on here. Beck, you got Nora Jones, Regina Spektor, Fiona Apple. Just some great artists on the soundtrack and in the movie. Just performing songs from the artists that are known for Laurel Canyon. You know, Peter, Paul and Mary, David Crosby, Crosby, Stills and Nash, the Mamas and the Papas. Just so much stuff that came out of that one geographic location, and they celebrated in this. And it's just a really chill, fun listen. And so I guess any mood I'm in, I could put this on and just enjoy it. So I went with Echo in the Canyon. All right, so that's my soundtrack tag redo. Thank you, Beth at Miss 80s Music and Movies. Check out her channel at the link below. Leave the link also to this redo soundtrack thing and all of the questions in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Love to hear from you. Until next time, keep spinning, vinyl friends.